Hi, my name is Michael Jaskulsky, and I'm here today to explain a binomial experiment problem with you. The problem at hand is on page 311 of our textbook, page number 36, and I'm going to be solving letters A and C for you. So first, let's read the problem. According to the Information Please Almanac, 80% of adult smokers started smoking before turning 18 years old. Suppose 10 smokers 18 years old or older are randomly selected and the number of smokers who started smoking before 18 is recorded. So, part A asks, explain why this is a binomial experiment. Well, we can answer that by addressing 4 criteria for a binomial probability experiment. Let's go through the 4. The first, the experiment is performed, an experiment is said to be binomial if 1, the experiment is performed a fixed number of times. Each repetition of the experiment is called a trial. Well, there is a fixed number of trials in this problem, which is 10. So, to the first criteria, yes. Number 2, the trials are independent. This means the outcome of one trial will not affect the outcome of the other trials. This is also yes. Number 3, for each trial, there are 2 mutually exclusive or disjoint outcomes, success or failure. In this problem, we also can see that that is yes. It is, have you smoked or have you not smoked? And number 4, the probability of success is the same for each trial of the experiment, which is also yes. So having answered yes to all 4 of the criteria for a binomial probability experiment, we can say that yes, this is a binomial experiment, and answer why it is a binomial experiment. So, for letter C, the problem asks, find the probability that at least 8 of them started smoking before 18 years of age. So we could figure this problem out, but first we need to ask ourselves, what does at least mean? Note that the phrase at least means greater than or equal to. Therefore, the probability that at least 8 of them started smoking before the age of 18 is equal to P is greater than or equal to 8. So, as we take a look onto the computer in a second, I'm going to show you how to solve this problem. Alright, so again, there's a problem. According to the Information Please Almanac, 80% of adult smokers started smoking before turning 18 years old. Suppose 10 smokers 18 years old or older are randomly selected and the number of smokers who started smoking before 18 is recorded. So again, for part C, find the probability that at least 8 of them started smoking before 18 years of age. So first we need to use a specific equation. This equation is right here. P, or the x, equals ncx times p to the x times 1 minus p to the n minus x. So, in order to do that, we need to figure out what the n, what the p, and what the x is to insert in each problem. N is the number of times or the number of subjects in the trial. So here it would be 10. P is the probability, which is 80%, which equals 0.8. Now, since we're trying to find at least 8 of them, that would mean at least 8, 9, or 10. So in essence, we're doing 3 separate calculations. So for the first calculation, we insert 8 for x. Now, we're wondering how we compute NCX. In order to do that, it's simply right here, n factorial over x factorial times n minus x factorial. So, when we start plugging in numbers, we could see for 8, we plug in the numbers 10 factorial over 8 factorial times 10 minus 8 factorial times 0.8, which is p, to the 8th times 1 minus 0.8 to the 10 minus 8. Now, once we get all those numbers down, as we can see here, all these calculations for all of these, we essentially get the number 0.3019. Now again, we need it is at least 8, so we need to find p for 8, 9, and 10. So doing the same calculations, but wherever the x goes, we plug in 9 now. So as we can see here, we have 9 factorial, 10 minus 9, 0.8 to the 9th power, and 10 minus 9. Everything else stays the same, but we insert 9 for x. By going through the calculations, we come up with 0.2684. And finally, when plugging in 10 for x, this part may get a little tricky because, as we can see here, we have 10 minus 10 factorial. 0 factorial essentially is 1. So if we have 10 factorial over 10 factorial, that's also 1. So we can see right here, 10 factorial over 10 factorial times 10 minus 10 factorial equals 1. 0.8 to the 10th is this number right here, 0.107374. And the last number, we also have 10 minus 10. So anything to the 0 power is also 1. So as we can see here, 1 minus 0.8, which is 0.2, to the 0 power ultimately is 1. So really the only number here that we have worth noting is this number rounded to the 4th decimal place equates to 0.1074. So now, since we have all three numbers, p for 8, 9, and 10, down here for p8, 9, and 10, we add those three numbers. These should be plus instead of times. So I can actually change that real quick. We get 0.6777. So as we see, there is a 67.77% probability that at least 8 of them started smoking before the age of 18. Thank you for your time and have a good day.